Welcome, Ignorant Takes Podcast. Man, where we gonna get heavy on this NBA today. Uh, Brian, Lamar, kind of recurring guests. We talked about it before. We have some recurring guests from time to time. We gotta get more guests on here though. So I guess we say guests, just a guest recurring. Um, the one and only right now, the OG recurring guest. Um, Happy Tuesday. Uh, how's everyone doing on this fine Tuesday evening? Oh, I feel it. No, I just yeah. Okay. It's sticky, huh? I know how. Well, we appreciate your dedication. How about that? So anyway, kind of some stuff going on in the NBA. We had another coach firing, one that I kind of foresaw with Budenhauser getting fired from the Suns. Um, Lamar, I'm actually gonna throw it at you first. How do you feel about that? What's your take? What's your take on that? Pause. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Right.
And feet up. Like he can't even. I wouldn't even be mad. All right, because no one's gonna think he's a bad coach. That's the beautiful thing of his situation. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, he's a bad coach. He couldn't do this or that with that team because everybody knows that that was a bad roster. So he doesn't lose any rep as far as his coaching pedigree. If anything, he's gonna get a job coming out of this situation
Fact.
anyway. You know, you have two kind of roster spots, maybe even three, with Sacramento Kings, the Nuggets, and Memphis Grizzlies kind of being three spots that I could see him definitely going to. I think he would fit probably the Grizzlies the most, kind of with his defensive mindset and that kind of gritty city that they have. And once again, that's a one superstar team with a solid roster. So I think he would actually fit there pretty good. But he's gonna have a job here pretty soon, regardless if he takes a year off or not. He got 40 million coming from Phoenix, and if he gets another job, he got probably another 3, 4, 5 year 40 million deal coming from another team. So he's good.
You know the fucked up thing is, I missed half of that on the recording. I,
This nigga's
I
so
did.
trash.
We got the most important part.
This,
We got
this,
the.
this,
Yeah, I was like, why is the bar not moving? and
This,
it changed to game instead of fucking voice. But
That boy fired.
anyway, Jesus Christ, bro.
I was in my bag
It
too.
was
In
in
my
your
whole
bag.
bag.
I got
Cooking.
the good part of the bag. I definitely got the good part of the bag for sure. Or I would have just
Cooking.
rolled with it.
Yeah.
So
That boy.
I did him dirty on that one. That was a complete act. I was
You
like,
could have gave me a flag. Like, hold on.
I could.
Restart.
You were going. I was like, I can't. You didn't take a breath. Bro, this is going to the bloopers for sure. But yeah, you couldn't take. You were like going. I was like, fuck, I can't stop him and have him repeat everything because he was.
I don't
just
remember what it
going.
said.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't have worked anyway.
It wouldn't have worked. But no. To quickly go over it. You foresaw it. Multiple star coach who's probably only used to really a 1-star team coming out of the championship with Giannis. Not a team like the big three that they had weren't meant to be together. Because none of them are pure playmakers, pure ball handlers in that sense. Like they can dribble, but I'm not saying like in the sense of like facilitating an offense. None of them can do that. Now they can be finishers of an offense, and that's what they all excel at. And they have probably the best, or arguably the second best finisher of all time, and that's my number one is probably Carmelo Anthony. But KD and Carmelo are probably in people's one or two, no matter who you are talking about in the NBA. So when it comes to elite scoring, so Brian, I'm gonna give it to you on that note from taking it away from the part we missed from Lamar and the part we got.
I just know that this was doomed from the start, bro.
Yeah.
It's been started. The only thing that three is gonna win is the best mid range competition, because all three of them got a mid range.
Yeah,
But
they got a bag.
as I'm talking about winning, like I said, the roster was never set,
No.
and you're forcing Bill was the one that was going to be forced to try to change his game, not Book, because it's Book's team.
Yep.
KD is KD. You're the odd man out is Bill, and we seen what happened. Reports are saying they were telling him that Bud was telling him he needs him to play like Drew Holiday. How are you going to tell somebody that's naturally a score first guard, a number one, and been a number two option to say, I need you to go be Drew Holiday? There's only one.
Never shown that defensive mindset either.
Never.
Come on, bro.
There's
one.
never been
Exactly.
one Drew Holiday.
It's one Drew Holiday, and we're not going to see that. If you're telling him he needs to be defensive minded, you should just say, "Hey, Brad, we're going to need you to step up in other areas like defense and all that stuff."
Yeah.
But to tell the man he need him to play like Drew Holiday, yeah, that is very disrespectful.
Yeah,
So
I don't think we'll ever see another Drew Holiday again because he's got superstar potential on both sides. He's definitely in my mind the best two-way guard. I don't think there's a better guard than him on both sides of the court.
Drew's been him for the longest.
Yeah,
It's just
for the longest.
he never got his respect. It took him forever to give him his respect.
True.
He's been doing it. It just took him forever.
Yeah, and what I'm getting into is he knows when the team needs a basket or a couple baskets. It's not just a stop. It's knowing when to start going for scoring, but a lot of times he's facilitating because he knows he got Jaylen Brown, he's got Tatum, Porzingis, even Derek White, who is a 3-and-D guy, like getting them the ball, getting them go. Al Horford for when he's shooting his threes.
Look at what he did for Milwaukee's championship.
Yeah. So, hell, look at what he did. He was on ball with Milwaukee and just took over games sometimes in their series when Chris Middleton was either hurt or wasn't playing up to snuff because he was kind of inconsistent. Giannis was still younger, but he's at the basket type player, so he's never been truly what I would consider inconsistent as far as when he became a star. And even with Boston, his ability to play off ball is what literally led them to just destroying Dallas because he was a general out there on defense. Yeah, Jaylen Brown did his part and played really well on ball with Luka. Tatum did okay. I think Luka, they were trying to get switches with Tatum, and Luka did score a lot of his points going against Jason. But when they got the switches with Drew or kept Jalen on him, he was able to facilitate stuff, and he was really good off ball. So we've saw evolution in his game that I don't think we'll ever see with another guy who's a potential star of the caliber of Drew Holiday. Just because like it's just crazy how smart he is. Very smart, obviously, both sides. So he just knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Obviously, so he can finish in that aspect. So. Yeah, they need some, I don't know why they got rid of CP3. I think that was the worst part of that. Ayton, I can see going away. Excuse me, but to get rid of CP3 was probably the downfall of that.
They have no floor general. KD and Book have shown they work better with another floor general out there. Minus KD's era in Golden State, with the boys. Like Draymond really was point guard, and everybody else, him, Steph, and Clay was just like, we're gonna play off each other. Even though Steph is point guard, it was still they played off each other. So it is what it is.
I mean,
he'll be signed. He'll be assigned. He'll probably be an assistant coach if he doesn't get a head coaching job. One of these other 3 or 4 that potentially might open, or 5 throughout the playoffs. He'll probably end up jumping on somebody's staff for 2 years and then back as a head coach.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I mean, I don't have nothing against him, so wish him the best. Unless he goes to the Lakers.
Solid coach,
or
just
Boston,
terrible situation.
And I wish him the worst. I hate the Lakers. I hate Boston. I just don't like the premier teams. I really hate the Lakers because they're the Lakers. And
they not the Lakers this year. They the Lucas.
Oh, okay.
The Lucas.
I really hate
they the Lucas.
I really.
They turned into the once the trade came, their whole name changed. You don't see on the jerseys it says Lucas, Los Angeles Lucas.
I despise them even more now.
Los Angeles Lucas, aka Ala Madrid. That's what it really needs to say. Just need to say Los Angeles Ala Madrid.
Here we go. This with this nonsense. Moving on. So tonight's games. Tonight's we got the play-ins starting here. In about 30 minutes or so. First we have the East, which is Orlando Hawks, and then later tonight we have Memphis, Golden State. I feel that I thought the Nuggets were the team that was tanking. I think maybe the Warriors might have tanked to get away from the Lakers for the first round. So,
when that smoke, that just was terrible. That game against the Clippers was terrible at the end of the stretch. Like there was multiple plays in the end of that stretch that was terrible. Steph stepped through and had a layup and tried to pass out of it, turned over, and it was there.
The tank was
Draymond's
the tank was sound like some scary Terrys over there.
The tank was on.
Some scary Terrys. They didn't want to run into that boy.
Lakers fans should be happy at that. We're probably us and the Nuggets are probably the better matchups for y'all. If we don't play y'all, everybody else y'all gonna smoke.
I don't know, man.
Y'all can't stop Jokic.
I like the size.
And we got 3 people. We got 3 people to switch on Luka and LeBron. I'm not worried about nobody.
Who's switching on Luka?
What? Jimmy can guard him. Draymond can guard him.
Nope,
Jonathan can guard him.
Nope,
yes.
too slow. Nope.
Guess what? You can say all that.
Let's just say Kawhi Leonard is a better defender than all those people you just mentioned, and Luka averages 32 points against the Clippers.
We're also talking about
I'm not hearing that.
Can't stay healthy for the majority of his damn career.
And he at 10%, he a better defender than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler can't even beat him. We saw the stat. He can't even beat him. He hasn't beat him since 2013. 2016, he hasn't beat him. He literally has not beat Kawhi Leonard.
10% Kawhi is diabolical.
The Lakers did not want to see
better than what they can offer. He giving you 35.
Jimmy's one of the better defenders in the league. I'm not gonna take that slander. That is 10%.
Luka putting 35 on him.
50% I'll take. 10% is crazy.
He's a Hookah Doncic fan. It's okay.
Yeah.
Y'all over there depending on the man that when you need him, when you call him, he gave you 13 points. When you called on Jimmy Butler, he gave you 13 points. 13. Come on, bro.
He was going crazy the other day. It's just terrible possessions down there. And then Draymond at the end, instead of trying to just go up and finish the ball, he tries to go get a contact layup and missed it. It is what it is. But like, come on, bro. I'm not hearing that. I actually want that Lakers smoke just so we can get the Lakers the fuck out of there. Everybody gonna be like, "Oh man, LeBron and
You're
them
gonna lose
ain't
against
no
the
reason."
Rockets.
I might
Hell no,
be I might be the one that's being a homer
better
here,
see
but
against
I
them.
don't think the Lakers are gonna beat Minnesota. With the way the Ants playing, I don't think the Lakers beat Minnesota. They're gonna beat them in 7 if they're gonna beat them.
Guess what? Trap Ant make everybody else play.
Yeah,
No one
that's
has been
gonna be
able to.
easy.
No one has been able to trap Ant all season. You're talking about one of the worst defensive teams in the league. You're gonna all of a sudden be able to trap Ant.
There's been teams, cuz don't go there. There's been teams that have trapped him. That's why he made that argument. I don't like being double teamed. There's a reason why. They've done it, fam. That doesn't say nobody's been able to all season.
I hope you ain't depending on Julius Randle. I hope you ain't depending on Julius Randle.
I think DiVincenzo's finally found his. I think finally got out of his mental.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear DiVincenzo.
Okay.
I don't want to hear if you talking about a white boy, it's either Luca or AR-15. I don't want to hear nothing about no redhead white boy shooting this, that, and the third. DiVincenzo, no, I don't want to hear it. He's not doing nothing. He's not doing nothing.
First off, whoa, you said some diabolical shit.
Yeah, dude.
You said some
he's not doing nothing.
Oh my goodness.
AR-15 is better than DiVincenzo. I think that's like not even arguable.
This season, yes.
In the season,
that's all
but
that
not in
matters.
the playoffs. He's not been better than DiVincenzo in the playoffs. DiVincenzo is a whole nother player in the playoffs, and he showed that last year.
I'm talking about if we look, you haven't seen this AR. AR took a complete step this season.
Like DiVincenzo had. Yeah, so
he hasn't been this level of player. He took a whole step.
This season, AR's been better.
Yeah, he took a whole step. You get better. You get better every season, but you still got to get better every season.
So if he disappears in the playoffs, I don't hear nothing about no AR.
If he disappears in the playoffs,
your
I
voice
don't hear nothing
there.
about you talking about mental awareness month. DiVincenzo, I don't want to hear nothing about him. Okay, mental awareness is a real thing. I'm not downplaying it, but I don't want to hear nothing about mental awareness, DiVincenzo. Okay, don't. I don't want to hear nothing about
like
it.
that. So if we'll see in this series,
okay,
because they're gonna play
when he averages 13 points and less a game, I don't want to hear nothing because I got a proposition for you.
All right.
Actually, we'll say it here right now. We should, and if we run into yo bummo Warriors, we'll go because we getting past the Lakers. We can do it too, but we got a proposition here. We do match game reactions after every game, and we'll sit down and talk about every game.
Bet.
Lakers, the Los Angeles Lucas versus the Minnesota Ants.
And to take it a step further, we'll transition each games on whose channel it goes to.
That works for me.
That's a bet.
Looks like you ain't gonna get no games on your channel because we're gonna get y'all out of here.
We're going back. One game. Each game. No, we'll go back and forth. What channel gets what?
Just talk about wins because I was gonna say you're screwed. You better do it like that. You better do it like that because you were cooked.
Nah,
you might have got one game because it's Lucas and 5.
It's Lucas 5.
Lucas and 5.
That sounds great.
But back to the original.
Yeah. Memphis.
Back on topic here.
No, let's
back
start
on
with the
topic.
East first. Game first.
That's
Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah, and they're playing in Orlando, right? Because Orlando is the high seed. They're 7.
Yeah, they're 7.
So let's just start there and go. Bron, you got it.
Magic. It's enough said. I don't see it. Unless Trey can turn the game and won by himself, but I just see the Magic winning this one in a close one. I don't see that. I don't see what Trey and them gonna do because if Trey has a bad night, it's a wraps.
Yeah, it looks like so both games right now are -6 in favor of the home team. Golden State was as high as 10.5, I think, earlier this afternoon. I thought that was too many points because Ja's going to give you something. Like, Ja's going to try to keep it close. He's going to have to go for 30 if they're going to be in.
Yeah, Ja's been having about in between the last few times we played 25 to like 32, but it's not Ja, it's everybody else, which is the whole purpose of you make everybody else beat you.
You really need Desmond to give you a 25 to 30 game.
Yeah. And when he struggles, Geo dude, he got to go sit down.
Geo dude, he's crazy.
Man, how he built?
He's built like a Ninja Turtle for real. That's who the real Ninja Turtle is. Not Westbrook. Westbrook is not a Ninja Turtle. Bane over there is a Ninja Turtle. But so I got Orlando as well, unless Trey does go crazy and we get Ice Trey. But I just feel like Magic is definitely a better team. Unfortunately for them, because they really want a rematch with Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because they did gave them hell last year. I know
Yeah.
Cleveland is definitely a better team than they were last year, but I feel that Orlando has gotten better too. Pablo was hurt; he had that perk that
Because what's
The
his
oblique.
face? Is Elf?
was
What's
it
his face?
oblique?
Elf
Was it oblique
still?
injury? I thought it was up his chest too.
What this year was the oblique. You're talking about last year?
Oh, it
Last
was
year, I don't
oblique this
remember.
year. Okay, so I confused the years.
Yeah.
Sorry. So oblique injury, missed a good amount of games. But Pablo Benqueros he's coming
He's
into
cold.
his own, man. He's cold.
P5 P5 been him when he healthy. He damn
when
near
he's healthy,
unstoppable.
Yeah,
he's
he's super
a
tough.
problem.
But I was gonna say, what's his face? That's still out tonight, right? Jalen Johnson. 'Cause I haven't seen him. I think he's still hurt.
Jalen Johnson's uh, out for season.
Okay,
OFS.
so I was right. So yeah, he's not playing tonight. That's
Kobe's
why I
out
said
for
I was in
season. Larry Nance is out today. Copella's out today.
there.
Suggs is out for season, and
Well, they've been there.
Mozart
I was
Wagner's been out for
more
season as
concerned
well.
about Jalen Johnson because I didn't know if they fully tagged him out for the
Yeah,
season. I know.
without Jalen, I don't think they're gonna stand a chance. They're not
I
big
would say
enough. And
Trey
Capella's
go
out.
30,
Yeah.
35, 15 from Trey. Y'all might have a
Yeah.
chance, but like otherwise, you're gonna need a miracle from everybody
I'm
else.
actually surprised this game is a 7-point game. I think it should be a 10-point game with the way it stands without Clint and without Jalen. That's too big. That's one rebounding and defensive difference, and then a guy who can score, rebound, and defense. So that's from the small forward. So he can get Jalen. Jalen's good to give you a 25-pointer. You know, on a good night, he can give you 25. So they're missing that.
Type shit.
I understand Orlando's missing out on one of the Wagner brothers and Jalen Suggs, which does hurt them right now. But but yeah, I got Orlando. I think this is gonna be easy Orlando game. I don't even think it's gonna be really close. I definitely think it's gonna be a 10-point double-digit game. Probably not a 20-point blowout, but I can see 10, 12, 13 points.
Double digits. You said it. You ain't say it was a surprise. You said double digits.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta explain it.
What you take? You feel the same way, Lamar?
Nah, I'm going with my original take when we talked a couple weeks ago when I said star power Trey. Star power Trey
game. You know he ice trade the game.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean you're banking.
yeah,
We all
know.
agree though. Like Ice Trey goes crazy. They have an absolute chance of winning this.
And I also think Rishache gonna give you a good couple of buckets. So, and you still got Dyson Daniels, the steal leader, potentially defensive player of the year. So I think they have enough, and I think we talked about it on the last time I was on here. The problem with Orlando Magic is scoring. So yeah, you're gonna get your anywhere from 50 to 65 between P5 and Wagner. But outside of that, that's 50, 60 points. Okay, you throw in a couple assists. They pretty much both average around 5 to 7 assists.
Yep.
So you're looking at 90 points. 80 to 90 points depending on twos and threes and such, which is not good enough in today's NBA. If you're not getting over 100, that's kind of a problem, and they have too many games this season where they have not hitting that 100-point threshold. And yes, they are solid defensively, but I think Trey is too good of a point guard where he can kind of disrupt their defense and get his team into offensive sets, get them into good positions to get open shots. Now it does come down to if they are going to make those open shots, but we have seen them make those shots, and I think he speeds it up, and I think when exactly, and I think when you have someone that is a leader like Trey, and he gives you confidence when he starts getting it going, and in these moments he's a playoff player. Like, he has shown us he's a playoff player. He likes those crunch moments. He likes when his back's against the wall, and you think they're not gonna get a dub. He shows up and shows out. So I think he's gonna give his team confidence, which is gonna make them all play better. I think they've all kind of gotten a little bit more confidence late in late in the season as well. They've picked up a couple good wins here and there. Ricochet has really kind of stepped up and had some pretty big games here over the last like 15 games. He had a good amount of 20 plus point games. So I think, him potentially, Trey kind of in his ear, hyping him up, kind of, hey, like, you're the first round, you're the first overall pick for a reason. Like, this is a moment right here, and I think that you got to win one game. If they just win this one game, now I think both teams will get through. I think these are going to be our 7 and 8, regardless of if the whoever loses this game is going to win the next game. Is kind of how I envision it. But I do think the Hawks have a high probability of winning today, and I think, like you said, that 6 point over 6 point, what is it, over for
minus 6.5 spread,
minus 6.5 spread for Orlando is kind of telling that the bettors also think like this is actually closer than what a lot of people may think, and obviously that has to do because of Trey's history and pedigree in these moments.
Absolutely, yeah, and he's a live nuke. They got to be getting blown out. I mean, it's got to be a 24 plus point game in the third, or I wouldn't even say at halftime, because again, at halftime it could switch. That switch flips and he turns on. It's a wrap. He can come back, put him in overtime, and then I think if they get to overtime with that, he's gonna carry him out. But yeah, we all feel the same, that it's gonna depend on Trey, what type of game Trey does. He have one of those legendary games, or does he have just kind of a normal? Because I don't think he's going to be a non-factor. I mean, I think he's going to get his average. I think he's going to get 25, 26 points for sure. I feel like that's a shoe-in tonight. Now, does he go for 35, 40? Then I'm like, he gets 35, 40, and everyone else did their job. They could actually wind up blowing out Orlando tonight.
35-15 type of game.
Yeah, but he's going to need that. He's going to need 15 assists. He's going to need to account for at least 60 something points on the board between assists and his own points for it to be a real game for sure. With the potential of flipping that switch, because again, if Orlando goes cold, like you said, offensively they've been kind of lackluster, and so if they go cold, they could be on the receiving end of a blowout at home. But I think the defense is going to carry them through. Even though, yes, Atlanta they were on a 3-game winning streak to end the season, but that was to get them into this seed, because it was between them and the Bulls. The Bulls were on a 3-game as well, so they both needed to continue to win out in order to get to the spot, to get to the 8th seed. So, and they did their job. But, yeah, I mean, I can agree with that, with your take on Orlando. I just have it in favor because I just think P5 is going to be unstoppable. I just don't think there's anybody who's going to be able to F with him, and he gets his 6, 7. Hell, if he gets 8 assists, that's even better. But I think he's going to go crazy just on the simple fact of he's trying to establish himself as a staple in the NBA. Trey has already done that. And so I think he's got a little more juice, a chip on his shoulder. And I understand, like, if they win this game, they're not going to get that matchup with Cleveland. They'll get Boston. But they really, like, you can hear it in their talks. You can see it in their games when they played Cleveland. Like, they really are itching to get back at Cleveland because they feel like they can match up well. And Cleveland has been basically dominating everybody all season pretty much. I mean, I know they've lost some games here and there, but Cleveland's looked really nice throughout the whole season. So,
for sure.
Confidence is key, especially with young guys. I talked about it in previous episodes. When young guys are confident, anything is possible. Especially young guys that are playing defense. So, we'll see. I think it's gonna make for a good game, though. It could be a good game. a double digit game, like I said, in Orlando's favorite. Not a blowout necessarily, but should be a nice back and forth, especially with Trae Young speeding it up, trying to long threes or getting passes, going to get several extra possessions, whereas Orlando's probably going to slow it down to try to limit it because they want a low scoring game. A lower scoring game is in favor of Orlando.
Yep.
Compared to a high scoring game for sure. All right, so let's move on to Memphis Warriors. I got the Warriors winning that one as well. I did think the 10.5 points that it started out with was a little too damn high.
What was it?
To start out, maybe, I don't know.
It was not. It was not.
Okay.
But go ahead. Get your rocks off.
But I'm excited to see playoff Jimmy. Like, to see playoff Jimmy with the likes of a Steph Curry. We've never seen him with another true superstar and another guy in Draymond Green who is just high IQ, and it's his team. He's the leader, like the vocal leader, the orchestrator, the conductor of that team. So Jimmy doesn't necessarily have to be everything he was in the past, where we see him carry a team to the finals and then he's burnt out basically.
Yep.
Yeah. So now he gets to put that thing in first, put it in second, maybe go to 6. Like, he gets to shift gears based on what's needed, and if they're in a position where they need to slow the game down, they need to get to the free throw line. Get out the way. Get it. Here goes the ball. Get him in the corner. Get him in positions where he's got an advantage, which is almost everywhere on the floor. He gonna get baskets at the rim or get foul calls and ones here and there and make us freak those. So, yeah, Warriors tonight. A little closer just because, man, Ja. I know you guys said earlier the other guys, but like, Ja's another animal too, and we finally got him. Like, we kind of got him back. Now he's still wilding with this gun shit, and now doing grenade explosions. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, just do something regular, bro. Like, hey, God dang, dog.
Take that somewhere else, man. Take that back home with you for Friday.
Somewhere, man. You went to private school, Clarence. Jesus Christ.
He needs to stay off of Verdansk. No more shooting games for him.
Hey, man. No more NBA young boy.
He needs to be on schedule. You know what he needs? He needs to be on schedule 1. How about that? Let's you want to live that lifestyle? Do it through schedule 1.
Go ahead. You can go ahead, Lamar.
It's on you.
You shouldn't even. You already know where I'm gonna go. Go ahead.
Definitely got the Warriors winning this one. Same thing like I mentioned with the 7-8 matchup in the East. I think regardless, both these teams are going to come out of this and make it into the actual playoffs. But with the Warriors, even though I was messing around putting some slander on Jimmy's name, one thing Jimmy has been known to do is show up in the playoffs, and not only show up in the playoffs, like I mentioned with Trae. This man instills supreme confidence in his teammates. And another thing that he's really good at is with the younger players. And you've kind of seen it with B-Pods ever since Jimmy joined. B-Pods has kind of stepped into a whole nother. Yeah. He's a whole new player. Yeah. And really tell that Jimmy has like they constantly are sitting next to each other on the bench. Jimmy's constantly in his ear. He pretty much what he did with Tyler Hero in Miami and turned Tyler Hero into what Tyler Hero is now. Mm-hmm. You can see he's trying to do that with B-Pods, and I think he's trying to do it with Kuminga too. But I don't think Kuminga got that juice. Like, you have to have a certain level of skin to kind of understand Jimmy, and we've seen that through history with Jimmy. If you can take Jimmy and his understand, like, he does talk shit, but it's really for your benefit. He's really
super
in your
direct.
ear,
super direct.
Yeah. And if you're not punking down and shying away, which B-Pods clearly hasn't, I think he's really stepped into that. Yeah. Jimmy Butler will rock with you, and he'll make you a better player. I think Kuminga, from what we've seen, maybe hasn't taken that as taken those words from Jimmy maybe as well as B-Pods, but you only really need kind of like one other to step up in the playoffs to because at the end of the day there you need the others to win you a game in the playoffs, and Jimmy has shown that he can lift the others to help win a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a to kind of elaborate on your point. I feel like it's a conversation. Like it's a
Oh,
like he's
yeah.
big bro, but it's like there's times where I'm gonna be on you about it. Like I might yell, chest gets poked out, but at the end of the day, like I'm only saying it because I love you and I want you to be successful. And then there's times where, and you can see it, him and B Pod are, like talking, like they're talking through it. Like he's like, no, it's like this. I've seen this before, blah blah blah. And B Pod's like, yeah, but I've also seen it this way. We'll do. And then they kind of figure it out, and they're like, bam, let's go. And then they're there. Whereas you're right, Kaminga hasn't received it as much, or has been it hasn't been reciprocal from Kaminga because Jimmy just wants to win. So he's going to do the things that lead to winning, and some people are for you, some people are not. Not everyone's your cup of tea. You know, you're not everyone's cup of tea. You know, so yeah, I agree. That's actually a great take. With B-Pod has for sure elevated to a whole new player within a short amount of time. So imagine what next year's going to look like, especially if him and Jimmy work out this summer. And then going into next year, that team, he's going to be a pivotal fourth piece with the Warriors kind of going forward until the end of the Draymond, Steph, Jimmy tenure, basically. So, Brian, I kind of stepped in on you, but go ahead, take it.
Oh no, you good. I was more just saying like JK just hasn't had enough time with Jimmy on the court though too, because a lot of this stretch he was out for about a decent amount of games, so he's still figuring out how to play off Jimmy. Which the moments that you see it working, he's understanding it, so it just gets more. But like you said, BP's been playing great. This is the one. This is the reason. The way he's playing now is what I expected him to take this year. This is the next step. Like, hey, we need you to fill that like that void. You do everything else. It's just you offensively, you were scoring in college. We need some of that. And he's showing it like, hey, the last, 6 games, he's averaging 18 points a game.
Yeah.
And so, like, because you're going to get the hustle from him no matter what. He's going to hustle. He's going to, like, give you that. But he's giving you 18 plus or more. Shoot, Jimmy give you 20. Steph out here getting you 25 to 30 plus. You got it what you need because defensively, we're going to show up. But
And
yeah, I just the series is done. We won the season series. I don't see unless Desmond Bain go for 40 and Ja got 30 like himself and like their big three, which is Bain, Jackson, and Ja. If they have a good game, cool, they have a chance. But like if any of them two get done, I don't see it happening, bro. I see us winning 10 plus easily.
yeah, it should be good. And I think Kaminga is a closer to Jimmy type, like body wise, and I think he's more athletic than Jimmy, but.
Bro, he's Wiggins. He was big. He was a Wiggins prototype. He just has to work on his jumper. But he's literally what Wiggins is. Literally 6'10", athletic, great defender, long wingspan, can jump out the gym. That's what Wiggins was. Wiggins just happened to have come in with a better mid range game and developed his 3-pointer.
Right.
It's the same thing Kaminga has to do. It's slowly coming together.
Yep. And then so moving on to the game. So I definitely, if with Memphis, if we're all predicting the Warriors win tonight and then Memphis plays the next game, I think Dallas could potentially steal a game from them because I think they beat the Kings, especially if AD play.
I don't. Even with AD playing, I just don't see enough scoring from anybody else. I just don't. And you're gonna get Zach and Debo with Sabonis. Sabonis don't even got to go score 20 now. He knows there's Debo in him, and then I think if what's his face is playing too. My boy from Kentucky, that's he's
Malik Monk.
Yeah, Malik. There
Malik
you go.
Monk, yeah.
If Malik he have one of them games, Malik can go for 30.
Right.
So like I just think it's too much offensively. If they're having a bad
for the Dallas, yeah. If they have a bad game, it's a wrap. But
if they have a bad game, yeah. But if two of them is going, Sabonis is a walking triple double too. So like, I think
because Kyrie's out for the season, right? That's right.
Yeah, Kyrie done.
Yeah.
ACL, that's right. I couldn't remember I couldn't remember if it's meniscus or ACL.
Yeah,
but I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I think Memphis for sure will be your 8th seed. So with that, let's go throw it back at the East. So if our other than Lamar because he had the Hawks, but because two of us have the Magic, we're just gonna act like it's gonna go that way. Just
Yep.
Majority. So we'll have Cleveland, Hawks, Boston, Magic, Knicks, Knicks versus Pistons, Pacers, Bucks. Let's go 1-8 round, and then we'll work our way through 2 through 4. All right, so we'll start Cleveland and Hawks.
Cleveland.
Cleveland probably gets a sweep.
Yeah, I was gonna say gentleman sweep if he had Jalen Johnson and Capella, but that's the sweep.
Yeah, Cleveland and 4. All right, so move on. It won't even not even worth talking about. Boston Magic.
I think it's interesting.
I got Boston in 5.
I can see 6. I like Boston.
I can see 6.
I can see 6 though too. In favor of Boston.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with Boston. Boston 5.
Now,
yeah, I say 5.
There's a
6 cap.
6 is a higher possibility, but it could go to 7. And the reason I say it could go to 7 is if the Magic have one of those Magic games. I know it's pun intended. I guess they have one of those Magic games where they just can't miss nothing, and they steal an additional game and go 7 because that's what they did against Cleveland. They had a couple games in a row where they just could not miss, and they were getting stops because they are big enough and physical enough to play Boston. So it could go 7, but I think it's more likely to go 5 for sure. And I would say if I were to go on a 100% scale, I would go 60% 5-game series, 40% 6-game series, or 35% 6-game series and a 5% 7-game series. But that's just how I feel. Boston, I think, just going to outclass them. They have more stars. They have better stars. They're a veteran team. They're, in my opinion, better coached. So every box checks itself. But again, with youth, and I mentioned before, with youth, you can get some crazy outcomes, some crazy games because they're younger. They don't know what to like. They have no fear essentially. Whereas Boston, they have a ton of pressure on them because they're the defending champions. They've been the 2 seed this whole time. They were supposed to be the 1 seed. Jason Tatum hasn't been in anything less than a Eastern Conference Finals. So everything, and they're the Boston Celtics, one of the premier teams in the NBA. With 18 titles, they're supposed to win. So all the pressure's on them. And that could break, that could fold some people. And I don't think they have a bunch of folders over there. I think they got one of my 2 oralist superstars in Jason Tatum and Devin Booker. But all it takes is one good game, and then you were supposed to lose out of nowhere and go to 7. But I got Boston in that. So let's go 3-6, which is Knicks Pistons. I'm gonna be the last one to talk here because I think I might have a different view than you guys.
You probably got the same thing, Pistons.
Yeah, as much as I love Tibbs, like as a coach, and respect you, I still don't like him in the playoffs because of how he coaches. I actually got Pistons in 7.
Oh, see, look, we had to say I got Pistons in 6.
I got Pistons in 6. Mm-hmm.
I got Pistons in 6. But again, I mentioned it in the last episode, is gonna go as far as Isaiah Stewart, not Thomas, Isaiah Stewart is ignorant. If he ain't ignorant, they have an absolute chance.
Yeah. It's also the playoffs too, so they might let him get a little bit more of a physical contact.
Yep.
There's some dogs. They defend. They rebound really well. They got that
Brunson
grit.
A couple games.
Man.
Brunson and Cat gonna give me 2 solid games. After that, it's gonna be who shows. Do they both show up or who disappears?
And I think Jalen is playing with a little injury too. Like he's not 100%. I don't think he's 100%. No one is typically 100%, but I think he's less than 70.
He doesn't look 100%.
Man. Yeah. Iron Man, Mikal Bridges said, "Coach, I'm tired. You need to start playing the bench." That tells you a lot. Like I said, it's a tip team, bro. He runs them in the ground in a regular season.
So we have an upset alert early.
Yeah,
6, but I have them as a dark horse. I have the Pistons potentially making it to the Eastern Conference Final. I know Jay. You said they're a year early, but they've looked really good.
I got them in 7. I just Tibbs. Yeah. I just
all right, and then
next. I got Cade. Hold on.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I got Cade showing us a different Cade. 27, 27 and up every game.
Yeah.
We're not going to
With
get
almost
any
10 assists.
23, 24, 25. Yeah, he's going to average a double-double. Almost, I think he's going to average almost a triple-double, and he's going to go for easily, probably closer to 30. I think he's going to put the ball up more in these playoffs, and I think the coaching staff and his team is going to say, you need to shoot more. Like, you have to shoot more. And really, because at the end of the day, this is where the superstars are born, is in the playoffs. Through that regular season stuff, yeah, you were amazing.
Yep.
You took your the worst record team last season into a 6 seed this year. First time in the playoffs in what was it, like 4 or 5 years, a little more than that maybe. I think it was since 2018. Yeah, I think it's 2018 the last time.
So,
Yeah, I thought it was 2018 maybe. So close to a decade. You got your team back in there, but once again, superstars are made in the playoffs, and I think we're gonna see, like we saw it a couple of times, actually closer to the end of the season, where he hit the 45 point game. He had a high 30 point game. He had a couple high 30 point games. I think he's gonna be on that. You know what? Let me. Yeah, he's gonna be going for 30. I think he's gonna because at the end of the day, if you look at these past couple of playoffs last years, you've had every superstar for the most part has pretty much averaged 30 points a game. You had Jason Tatum averaging almost 30. Shea is gonna give you 30. Jokic shoots more in the playoffs. He was
Luka
around 27, 28.
I think
Luka
he's
averaged
second all
30.
time in
Yeah.
playoff averages.
Yeah, he
behind
averages
Embiid.
crazy. So every superstar that really wants to be a superstar, even Ant was, I think he was like 27, 28 last year. He was pretty high up there. You have to turn into that player if you are who you say you are. Even Trae Young during those couple of those years where he had a couple good runs, he went from typically 22, 23, 24 to over 25 points a game in those playoffs. So if you're really going to show up and show us that, Cade Cunningham is here, and I think that's what he's in his head, that's what he feels like. This is the perfect opportunity, the perfect matchup, the perfect team, in the sense of you're facing one of the biggest markets, if not the biggest market team in the NBA. You get to go into the Garden and have Garden games and drop 30 points, 10 assists, 7-8 rebounds, and get your team still a game or two in New York. You turn into, okay, Cade is superstar. Cade is him. We know you're him. Like, we as basketball fans, we see you. We know what you are. But this is for you to solidify yourself to your peers, who your peers already know you're like that. But this is the playoffs. This is your first time in the playoffs. This is to show them, hey, look, for the rest of my tenure in the NBA, y'all got to mess with me. And this is the start of his playoff story.
Like you said, you make a name in the Garden. They always say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking up last year's. So yeah, so you were pretty much spot on. Anthony Edwards 27.6 points a game, and he was the 11th best scorer in the playoffs. Last year's playoff. LeBron James 27.8, AD 27.8, Joker 28.7, Doncic 28.9, Donovan Mitchell 29.6, Maxey 29, almost 30 points for himself, 29.8, and then you had the 30 pointers, which was or 30 point pluses, which is Shea, Dame, Brunson, Embiid. He was the most at 33 points. So yeah, I mean, for those that just don't understand, there's superstars, stars, all-star, role players, and then bench warmers.
Oh boy.
That's the levels of
Corner
it.
boys.
And to get into that superstar status, you have to be in those. I would say with 16 teams, you got to be one of the top 15 guys. Like, you got to be above average scorer, and even Pablo, like PP5 averaged 27.6. That was at 13. Kevin Durant 27 points a game. That was 14. Jason Tatum 26.8. That was your 15 right there. and then D Book was 27.6, which him and Anthony Edwards were 27.5. Sorry, so those are all superstars. Those are all guys who've led their teams fairly deep. Other than Donovan Mitchell, he hasn't led his team deep yet. Embiid hasn't led his team deep yet, but Embiid is the MVP. When he's healthy, he's very clearly a superstar. So, we know who Dame is. We know who Brunson is. These are guys that we can say are definitely superstars in the league. There is a tier above the superstars, which are kind of your faces of the NBAs, which I would safely say that's Joker, LeBron James still, Luka Doncic, Steph. That's your four. Okay, you can mute it up.
Just gonna let you keep going.
You gotta keep going.
I was gonna say because if you didn't say Steph, I was just gonna.
Yeah, for sure. Steph. I think Shay's probably in that conversation as well.
He's there. I think he's there.
Doesn't want to be a face of the league, but unfortunately, his game is putting him in that.
Shay is in that other gate where we're
right
talking
there
about
underneath it.
The old guard, but that was the old guard that's still there, but it's right there with the Tatum, the AE, Brunson, the Shea. They're right there. They made their names in the playoffs. We've seen it.
Yeah. So it should be spot on. You have to. Superstars are born in the playoffs. We'll know who.
If you average 25, you need to go to 27 minimum.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to have that 2-point jump.
You have to
and obviously, if you're 27 or more, you need to stay consistent with that 27 or more. But if you're under 27, you have to hit 27 and up in the playoffs.
That's fair.
It's mandatory, especially if you want to put yourself in that category. But if you want your team to have any success as the go-to guy, you have to be 27 or more.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, so next we got Pacers, Bucks. The Bucks have been, and especially if they get Dame back, they have been crashing teams. I mean, they beat Minnesota. They were down 24 points with 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and they came back and won that game. They've been just crashing teams.
Beat Pistons recently.
Yeah, they beat them back to back, actually. So,
and that matchup's a little bit of a rivalry too.
I'll take Bucks in 6 because of that. They have history in it, but if you're getting a game back, I'd say 6. If it goes 7, the Pacers can mess around and win it.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't rule the Pacers out. I wouldn't rule them out.
It's gonna come down to what you get out of Turner. Miles Turner is gonna be that's your X factor in that. Like if he gives you anything extra, because I think Pascal Siakam is gonna give you his 22. He's averaging 20 points a game, but he'll give you 22 to 24 points a game. Hallie has to step up. Hallie, I think, he's gonna get his 9 10 assists, but he's got to be a 24-point scorer as well. You got to get 24 points out of both of them, and then get maybe a 15 to 20 points out of Miles Turner to have a chance of getting that series. Now, Bucks are not gonna have Dame for game 1. They might not have him for game 2, depending on when it's played, because his estimated return is the 22nd. So game 1 is gonna be the 19th. That means game 2 is potentially gonna be the 21st or the 22nd.
21st, 22nd. Yeah.
So if it's the 21st,
it's gonna be something. Pacers still this game 1.
They have to steal game 1, but I think the Bucks have been playing so well.
Yeah,
they're definitely I don't know what's gotten into them.
KPJ.
Yeah.
Actually, Kevin
great point.
Stepped up.
Yeah,
big time.
KPJ has been going crazy. You're right. That's what's gotten in.
Called it when the pickup happened. Boy,
I actually was one of the ones that said it too.
When he got it, when his mental space is correct and he's in the right mind, the man had all the talent coming in.
Oh yeah,
he's a bucket. It's just he had off the court stuff
and
that messed with
him.
him.
Two-way.
He's a two-way.
And two-way, yeah.
He's big. He's long. He's strong. Super athletic. And he don't. I think what happened was because everyone hates Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert started talking crazy to that boy in that 24 game.
Best off-ball defensive player.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all he is. On ball, he's a casualty. It's
defensive player of the year.
When you say off ball, you mean to the bench, right?
Yes.
Ball.
No, that nigga to the hot dog
To
stand.
the hot dog. So yeah, I got whew. If the Bucks keep playing the way they're playing, I got the Bucks in 5.
It's 6 or 7 guaranteed. I think it's 6 or 7 guaranteed.
I got him in 6.
Okay.
Pacers in 7 if they depending on the
I
situation.
feel stronger about the 6 than the 5. Because you still
And Indiana at home is a problem.
Indiana at home is really good. They are really good at home. So they're 29-11 at home. So yeah, they're good. They're nice. But I think it's the Bucks series to win for sure, especially the way they've been playing as of late.
Yep.
I got them in 5-6. So you guys got them in 6-7. A differing point of view, but hey, that's what we're here for. We have these discussions. Not everyone agrees, which is great. Giannis is definitely he's on something because that's our third best team. Like we felt I think we all agreed that with Dame, healthy Dame, they're definitely the third best team out of the East, potentially the second best team out of the East. Especially playing the way they're playing now, having KPJ as that third star, because I think the kid can be a star. Can he be a superstar? Sure. He's got the talent to be one. We're just gonna see. We haven't had a chance to see him in the playoffs yet, so let's see what he's about. But he's playing alongside two lions. Giannis is a lion. Dame is a lion. What he is in game 1 is gonna dictate what we're gonna see of KPJ's future. This guy here can't take him nowhere. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the West. Standing. So we got Golden State winning tonight, and then Memphis being the 8th seed. So that's Thunder, Grizzlies, Rockets, Warriors. We're cutting it close on time. We might have to. We'll keep it going. Lakers, Wolves, Nuggets, Clippers. So Thunder, Grizzlies.
Thunder in 5.
Thunder in 5.
Maybe 6, but 5.
Thunder. I think it's just sweet. Thunder in 4. Rockets, Warriors.
Yeah, we got that in 6. Call that.
Rockets 6 or 7.
Warriors 7. Rockets in 6. Warriors in 7. If the Rockets don't win in 6, it's Warriors in 7.
We also won the series, the regular season series too.
But they did beat the shit out of y'all the last time they played y'all. They played way physical, and I understand that Jimmy Butler made complaints.
They won an 8-point game. Then Steph literally aggravated.
They said y'all soft. That's what they said. The coach said it. The players said y'all soft. So
he could do that, and we had an aggravated thumb. But guess what? Let's see what they do in a 7 games. Jalen Green ain't it.
Lakers, Timberwolves.
The Lakers 5.
Wolves are 6. Lakers at 5. Wolves are 6. I'm gonna do the same thing. If y'all don't win in 5 games, it's over. It's 6 games. Timberwolves.
Luka's stealing 2 in Minnesota.
I guess it.
Then that means they're gonna lose at home. Because we're gonna go to 5. It's 2-2.
That's okay. Luka likes to lose the first game on purpose, and then he just beats the shit out of the team the next 4 games. We've seen it.
Timberwolves are 6.
We literally seen it.
You know what that
Multiple
YN
rounds.
said? You know what that YN said? He said, "I can't wait to retire that old ass nigga." That's what he said. So Timberwolves are 6.
You also know what Luka said? He can't fucking guard me.
That's Gobert. Everybody else can.
And then he also told y'all, take y'all bitch ass home. We seen it. He said it 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row. Can't guard me and take your ass home.
Nuggets, Clippers.
That's gonna be a good series.
That's close.
This is gonna be an
That's
interesting
probably
series.
a 7-game series.
I got Nuggets in 6.
Go ahead.
I got Clippers. I mentioned it on the last time I was on here. If you get that Kawhi, and we have seen Kawhi's back, he's back.
He's back. That boy's
He's back.
So
and
I got
Clippers.
I got the Clippers. If the
Clippers
Nuggets
6.
can win in 5, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on the Kawhi you get, if it goes 6 or 7 games, I got the Clippers as well. But so the Nuggets got to win early. They gotta win in 5 games, 4 games. That it's that simple. If that series goes any longer and you allow him to because I don't think he's completely ramped up. Like I think he's getting there. He's in gear 5 or 6 or close to 6. But the Terminator's out. Like the Terminator's out, so he's coming to play. And we know what he's like healthy and in the playoffs. If he was able to stay healthy, he would be in the conversation for the best player to ever grace the basketball court. That's how good Kawhi Leonard is. Leonard
cold.
is cold.
Yeah. Well, no disagreement.
Coaching. We mentioned it. Coaching, defense.
Yeah. And you got
coaching.
Ty Lue's
a better coach than whoever is over there. And I don't even know who's sitting in the hot seat. I don't even know. But that was a horrible decision to go into this playoffs without Michael Malone, who is a amazing coach,
elite coach,
an amazing coach. Defensively, is a stud.
And that's where I give the edge to the Clippers, because I think the Nuggets they're gonna get a couple games because they're still rallying behind the new coach and new regime. But if the Clippers are hanging in there and these are close games, I foresee Jamal Murray being a no factor. They have enough big bodies to throw at Joker, and also that can come down and score. So they're gonna
Zubac gets you a bucket.
They're gonna make him play defense.
2010, 2015.
They're gonna make Joker play defense, and that's what the Lakers did the 2 times that they were able to beat them. I know they haven't beat them recently, but they had enough bodies to throw at Joker, and they had guys that they threw down there on the offensive side to force the Joker to exert energy on the other side of the court. And we saw that even with Minnesota. Minnesota did the same thing. They had enough bodies to throw at him, and they made him work. I know that Rudy Gobert is not a true offensive threat, but he's a dink and dunk guy. You still have to be aware of where he's at. But, Naz Reid, Cat, those guys came down and forced Joker to come play defense, and that's why Minnesota wound up winning that series. So, but I definitely got the Clippers in a 6 to 7 game series for sure. The Nuggets have to win early, and then I think the Nuggets is out of there in the next series. I think they're going to be a one and done potentially, but the Clippers have an opportunity, depending on who they play, to go a little further. So we're gonna leave it there. Appreciate the time, Lamar. We definitely look forward to the game reactions from the Lakers Timberwolves series. If we want to do any other series to call them out, we all text. We can get that going. This has been the Ignorant Take Podcast. We out this piece.
Yosh.